the Yadu Praviras, the members of the Yadu dynasty, they saw that in the heavenly planets, Surasattamas are having a big assembly hall. And when they saw that, they thought, why can't we bring this to Krishna? Give it to Krishna in Dwaraka. And they transported the assembly hall and brought it and placed it in Dwaraka. And Krishna was living there. Krishna was conducting his assembly there. And because they were all his servants, they would also be walking around in the sabha which was meant for Surasattamochita. So we can see this was the accomplishment, or this was the thought, and this was the thinking of Yadu Praviras, members of the Yadu dynasty. When they saw something glorious, they thought, let's bring it to Krishna. Let's give it to Krishna. And they brought it. Ahritam balat, by force they brought it. When Srila Prabhupada went to Detroit, devotees took him around the city, and Prabhupada saw one big mansion. So he asked, what is this mansion? Then devotees said, Prabhupada, in the early 20s, 1900s, there was a very rich man, Lawrence Fisher, and he built this mansion for him to live. And there are 55 bedrooms in that. It's big halls, big ballroom, big, all these facilities. So when Prabhupada heard that, he said, can we get that for Krishna? So immediately devotees ran around, started talking to real estate agents and then finding out whether it's available. And they found, and there was I forget the amount, some millions of dollars. And the next 1 or 2 visits of Prabhupada arranged, he called 2 of his disciples who were very wealthy families, and he arranged the money. And of course later on Prabhupada went with the devotees to see that, inspected that place. And the broker agents took Prabhupada around and showed him, this is the ballroom, and everything gold inlay and marble from Spain and Italy and onyx and all kinds of very, very opulent mansion that was. It was on the side of Detroit River, and there is a river comes into the basement of the house of this mansion, and there's a boat there. So directly from the house, get into the boat and you can get into the river. All these kind of facilities were made by the rich man. So Prabhupada saw all those things, and then he spoke to the agents, and the agents were asking how much money, and they were telling so many millions of dollars. Prabhupada said, see, we are all beggars, we don't have money. So, how can you give this house to us? And that man was a little embarrassed. What is this? When in America, when such big property is being dealt with, they only deal with very big people and very aristocratic. But Prabhupada presented it like that. And then anyway, in a few meetings and discussions, and it was done in next few visits of Prabhupada, Prabhupada bought that and had that converted into a Radha Krishna temple. So, when Srila Prabhupada saw that mansion, immediately he thought that this should be used for Krishna. I remember very, very long ago, when we were in a small rented house in Bangalore, we would pass in front of Vidhan Saudha with of course we were very naive and simple, and we would think, such a big building, why can't we convert this into Krishna temple? We would think, oh, that Trimurti is there, we will remove that and put Sudarshan Chakra there. Rest of it all looks like a temple already, no problem. So, of course, we were too simple and naive, and you just think and talk like that. But what is interesting is to note here the kind of a sentiment and the spirit that the members of the Yadu dynasty had 5,000 years ago. That same kind of a spirit was present in Srila Prabhupada when he saw the fisher mansion. And the same kind of a spirit Srila Prabhupada has imparted in his writings, and in when we follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions and his message, we are also enthused in the same spirit. See, this is proof that the way the members of the Yadu dynasty understood Krishna, who were very close to him. They were with him. They belonged to the same family. They were pure devotees. They were devoted to him. And in their family, Krishna chose to be born. They knew Krishna. Their understanding of Krishna, their knowledge of Krishna, that very same understanding and that very same spirit Srila Prabhupada carried, and he has imparted that in his books through his movement to all of us. This is proof that we are understanding Krishna the same way